Welcome, everybody. My name's Danielle, and I'm going to be sharing some insights for this waning half moon. The last quarter of the moon is almost finished its cycle. So we'll take some time to pause in our day and make space for holding things in our awareness that we may not have done up until this point. So that's what all these recordings are about, is just making a moment in time to broaden the lens of your awareness so that you're more available to receive information from inside of you and also pick up more on patterns and synchronicities and messages from your outside world. It's really great if you can share in the comments below if anything comes up, because this is really helpful for our community space as well. I really appreciate the private messages. I find that listening to these threads that cross when we're sharing this information is absolutely fascinating. So thank you so much for that. So I don't know how last week was for you. I mean, for some of you, I do know you've shared with me, but we are in the eclipse season. And last week we had the full moon and the partial lunar eclipse, which I shared a video on. And this week is all about implementing the insights that we gained from last week. So I was noticing that my week last week was going really slow and I couldn't get anything done. And really, this is because our energy was being pulled to the places that really needed our attention. So anything that was kind of secondary to our evolution, in a sense, anything that was off the path of what our heart is calling for, there might have been some resistance, there might have been some delay, just a slowness with it might have seemed to the mind to be unproductive, but there was something much deeper happening at these times, which really helped me a lot because I seemed to get nothing done at all. So it was really a moment of practicing patience and gentleness and trust in this journey. Our mental mind may not know what is happening. How deeply can we trust the way that we're showing up, the work that we're doing, and to know that we are being supported? We just come back to our heart path again and again. So the waning half moon, we can really think of this as the moon's inner autumn. So if you follow your menstrual cycle, you'll be able to tap into the inner autumn quite quickly. You'll have things that resonate with that. But just to touch on it a little bit, it's also the same, by the way, as what we did in the autumn equinox. So if you listen to that video, which is still available, it's very similar, the things that I'm about to say. So it's really this time where we're slowing down. We are preparing for the dark moon to come, the beginning of the next cycle. And in the darkness, this is where we can receive messages from within ourselves, the things that we are needing to hear to help us on our journey, and not just us, also our community, also the collective as well. Remember, as we pick up these gems and this wisdom, it is not just for us, it is for the greater. And that's really what we find when we come to Circle and we share our stories as well. Somebody needs to hear that story, the work that we do within Circle, when we're in meditation, when we're just within our body listening. It is supporting something greater than this individual self. So we can think about this week organizing. This might be organizing your home, your clothes, your kids' toys. It might be making meal plans or activities to come for this week. It might be looking at your calendar and seeing how you can make space for the week to follow so that you have a chance to slow down, to really go inwards and to really do nothing, but to listen to your body. So next week is more about the practices of stillness and observation and listening. Yeah, so making space, and you can be doing this by swapping clothes, swapping toys, swapping ideas, donating things to your local charity, something that may support someone else, but will also give you some space so something new can come into it. And also, this time is for reflecting on this month past so that you can celebrate insights, manifestations that you've experienced, and also see what no longer serves you. So you'll be able to, if your awareness, for instance, is focused on your career or a relationship or finding love or your health, you can see what's worked through the past month and what hasn't. And it's not to say it won't ever work out for you doing that activity or that way of living. It's just in this moment, it is not resonating for whatever reason. So see what it is that there seems to be some resistance, there seems to be some discomfort, or you're depleted from doing the task or the activity or the mindset that you were holding during the last month, and you can release it. And we get to start fresh on the new moon. So we can start to implement new ways of being in our life that can support us in our journey. So one of the questions is, what limiting beliefs or patterns have surfaced in moments of frustration or doubt or resistance this last month? And how can I consciously release them to invite deeper alignment with my true self? So going back and reflecting on times in the last month where you may have been triggered, and that can look many ways. It might look like anger, frustration. It might look like running away from a situation or a person, or numbing out. These moments where you can see the nervous system has been awakened, where there's been some kind of perceived threat, they hold some beautiful gems for you at this time. With the questions I'm asking, you can also go and find this in the resource, the written resource as well. So if you feel like I'm going too fast, you can pause me, or you can just listen to this recording and then go and take a look at the blog that this video came into. All right, so next we're going into Sidereal Astrology, which, if you've been tuning in, I am studying this right now. I say study, I'm just exploring it in my day-to-day life. And so this is actually the position of the moon and the planets and the stars at the very moment that you're looking into the sky. Because when we look at tropical astrology, which is the one you'll most commonly see in magazines, on social media, the mainstream astrology, the constellations and the moon, it's a fixed system. So they have the constellations will have the same degree throughout the whole of let me just rephrase this. If you look at a tropical astrology chart, you'll see that all of the constellations have the exact same angle. And that takes us to 12 constellations, when actually the moon passes through 13 constellations. And so we also bring that into account with the sidereal astrology. That's why if I'm saying the moon is in a certain constellation and it's not the same as what you're seeing on social media, then that's because I'm going from a different system than what they is. I'm going from how the sky is actually looking at these moments. So on this half moon, let's first look at the moon, which is a look into our inner world. The moon is in Gemini, and this is linked to curiosity and practical wisdom. And Gemini is the air element. So we will be thinking about this energy to purify, to bring clarity, so wisdom can rise up. Looking at how we communicate and how we're in relationship with ourselves and things around us. So when the moon is in Gemini, it is really linking to this deeper sense of curiosity and desire to learn. This can be from within, listening to our own body, having this connection with the messages from within ourselves. And it can also be from wisdom outside of us. And then we're taking this and we are practicing it in our daily lives and seeing how we can integrate it into the physical world which is quite beautiful because at the moment, with everything that arose last week, we are kind of bridging what we experience in the spiritual realm to the physical so that we stay grounded with the information that we're receiving. So this energy of Gemini is inviting us to explore new ideas, practices, perspectives, almost like the beginner's mind, being open to be surprised and being open to see what beliefs and ideas we are holding as truths. So noticing maybe there are these ideas and beliefs that we've just been clinging on to for a very, very long time. Be open this week for listening to new perspectives and just seeing what arises in you as you allow that to come through. So this time is asking us to explore within ourselves, what does it mean to be open to receive? Whatever we gain from this week is going to help us with what is coming in the weeks to follow. So it's not saying whatever you receive is set in stone. It's just kind of playing with what is around you and welcoming in opportunities to learn something new. So if you notice an imbalance, it might come through as impatience. You might have found something that's really awakened your curiosity and you're staying up all night reading about it, learning about it, and maybe even getting anxiety because you don't know it just yet and you really want to know it. Be aware of that and just honor your basic bodily needs. Remember, you need rest and you need to nourish yourself. Yes, celebrate the curiosity, but trust that it will be there if it is meant for you. And that also links then to overthinking or excessively talking about something. As the moon is in Gemini, it's really asking us to let it come into our world, let our internal world process it and see what comes through on the other side. On the flip side of this, it might be that you're withdrawing. It's too much. There's too much information. It's totally overwhelming. And you go into shutdown, maybe even feelings of being totally disinterested, dull, bored, indifferent, just lacking that passion. So with either side of these, it's just to really remember to take care of your basic needs. And with that, tuning into your heart path again and again, and knowing that things are always going to change. Emotions are going to come and go, ideas are going to come and go, inspiration, and just see this as this beautiful journey that you are on. And then we have the sun in Virgo. So just to balance this out, looking into the energies that are around us, what is happening in our external world. So the sun in Virgo is going into nourishing our growth through improving the way that we show up in the world. And this is linked to the earth element, which is all about healing and manifesting and that groundedness, that stability. So we are being asked to look at our lives and see where we can develop skills, practices, abilities, so that we can continue to rise up, so that we can continue to evolve. And that's not just with ourselves. When we start to bring more attention to these skills and ability and refine them, this radiates out to our family, to the people around us. So it's kind of beautiful because linking to the Gemini that's very curious, that curiosity might take you to refine some of the skills that you have. And it could be something so simple as you're learning a new breathing technique that you're going to tune into through this next week and see how it feels on the other side. It might be looking at ways that you can change your routines or the way that you show up in relationship. It's just kind of sharpening the way that you're showing up. So at the core of this, it's really about commitment to yourself, to what you believe in, to what you value in this world, because there's so many distractions that we can take our energy when we can place it onto something that really has nothing to do with our heart path, that only the mind is interested in. And the mind is interested in it because we've been conditioned to believe that it has some importance in some way. So this Sun in Virgo is bringing this inspiration for growth and helping us to have this positive impact and relationship with the people around us. So let's just look at imbalances with this so that you have a broader view on what might come up, so that you can make time again for yourself to come back to center, to make sure that all of your basic needs are being met. So you might notice that you become you switch into the mind of being a perfectionist, obsessing over little details to the point that you're just getting frustrated, that you feel like you're never good enough. And that's also the part of ourselves that can become very controlling and wanting everything done in a certain way. So you might find yourself putting yourself down, being the critic, which is very much linked to the waning half moon, because it's the inner autumn, and the inner autumn is said to be this time when the inner critic is loud. And really, if you can make some space, that inner critic can become your best friend. If you get underneath of what it's really trying to show you and tell you, then you can get to know yourself more deeply and choose what will best serve you. So if you have a tendency to obsess over things, if you have that perfectionism inside of you, go easy on yourself. Know that is a possibility to come up. And yeah, you can attempt to place energy on the things that you can control so that you have more focus on it, but also remembering that there's so much that you can't control. So as long as you're staying observant to the outcomes of the actions that you're taking, this is always just learning and growing, putting the pieces together slowly. If you are someone that's a workaholic, then notice this time as well. That might be boosted a little bit. You might feel like you want to stay up all night and work on a certain project. You can't rest until something is finished. Getting strict, putting your foot down with yourself and being like, I need to sleep, or I need to have some tea right now. I need to go for a walk in nature. And get very clear with your mind that you will be doing that. Sorry if I'm rocking around. I've got dead leg. I never sit on chairs anymore, but so the camera's in line with my face and not my vulva. I am sat on a chair. So I'm sorry if I'm rocking. I'm not bored with talking to you. I'm just got a little bit of dead leg right now. Hopefully it'll go before we start the ritual. So there's some questions in the resource to really figure out what it is that inspires us, like a true inspiration when the heart wakes up. So when you're in that place, you can start to receive. You can start to connect threads and receive information. You can receive information in so many ways, but receive information that your heart is calling in. Okay, so I'll leave you to look at them questions in the resource. Now, I pulled a card, and the card was the Eight of Wands. And the Eight of Wands, well, Wands is linked to the element of fire. So we'll look a little bit at that and what the number 8 means. So fire is linked to our soul connection, our courage, our relationship with ourselves, our heart path, our soul path, whatever words you want to use, our ability to transmute energy, transmute things into a different form. It is our passion, our action in the world. You might resonate more if I said the solar plexus. If you work with the chakras more, it's very similar to what you'll find there as well. And the Eight of Wands, well, the eight is really, it's really bringing our awareness to, if I sit up straight, then you'll know, like this courage, this inner leader. And this can just be for you. You're leading yourself. Your heart is guiding you forward, and you sit up a little bit straighter. You take deep breaths. You're observant to your surroundings, and you just know. And this is the eight is just before the nine, which is like the completion. It's a done deal kind of thing. So the eight, it is, we're moving forward, whether we like it or not. So if you have been, your intention of being with a relationship, with your career, with your health, with your family, whatever it is, whatever you've had kind of in your awareness, whether you've been setting intentions or there's been some resistance in some way, there's been some struggles, this cycle is almost about to come to an end. So whether you are going to go with the flow with this, you're going to take a deep breath and be like, let's do this, or you're going to be like, I do not want to do this. I am not ready. It's going to happen anyway. So it's really asking you to choose what you're going to fight against and choose what you're going to trust in and move forward with. This is a moment of curiosity in many ways, because you are about to step into the unknown. A new cycle is about to begin, and this is so beautiful again because we are coming to the end of the cycle with the moon. So this moon cycle is almost at the end. We're going to start again. So this is, I find, is really a really beautiful card to be pulling that aligns with everything that we've been talking about. So yeah, moving forward with courage, how can we do this? Because the eight is telling us we have everything we need right now. We have everything. The foundation is strong. We are moving forward. You can resist. There might be a delay, but it's going to happen. So we can go with the flow, even though it might be a little bit bumpy. It's not saying it's going to be smooth, but we can step into trust and an embodied knowing, or we can really resist and burn up some energy. Don't worry if you resist as well. Like, things are scary sometimes. You'll come on the other side of this and you'll learn more about yourself. You'll learn to trust yourself more. So the eight of wands brings us this focus on our soul path. It is the strength that comes with being true to ourselves, living our life as our most authentic self. And that is tough because the mind is so deeply conditioned, because we're born into it. So be gentle with yourself. And, old patterns might rise up. And this for you might be, there might be some, it might be excess fire. Remember, this card is linked to fire. So it might be that anger comes out of frustration, or the opposite side of that. Maybe you withdraw or run away and just be like, I'm totally done, which links to what we were talking about before in the astrology reading. So yes, it's a sign that transformation is near. Well, like the phoenix, it is time to burn away what no longer serves us so that we can embrace this rebirth. Okay, so let us get into our ritual. I welcome you to take a moment to ground into this space. All that information is written down, so you can let it go for now and just trust whatever you've received here is exactly what you need to hear. And if you forget it, it's okay. Your body was listening. There's a lot of information. So this ritual focus on reflection, letting go, and nurturing our own personal growth, which is also our family and our community and collective growth as well. The moon, the waning half moon, which symbolizes the inner autumn. a time for harvesting our insights and preparing to go deeper as we move towards the dark moon. So what you'll need for this ritual, remember you can pause me, a bowl of water, any herbs that you feel drawn to, pen and paper, candle. If you really want to go for it, you can use blue or green candle. Any flowers or herbs you want to bring in, anything that you want on your altar. What comes to mind? If you don't have any of that stuff and you're not going to get it, don't worry. I'll do the ritual. I'll do it from my side, and you can tune in to it as well. It's just as powerful. So let's take a few breaths. Come to find your feet on the ground. If you're laying down, your heels. If you're sitting, come to feel the left and the right sit bone and balance. So you might want to rock from side to side. And begin to notice your breath. Noticing which parts of your body expand when you inhale and which parts soften when you exhale. Feel roots or energy leaving through the soles of your feet, connecting to the earth below you, welcoming in the earth element to hold us and nourish us at this time. If you know the direction of north, east, south, and west, you can face the west, which would be where the sun sets. So maybe you know where the sun sets and you can face that way. Welcoming in the energy from the west, which is the element of water. The direction west and the element of water is linked to the autumn energy, the waning half moon. Feel the element of water, visualize her moving through you. Maybe you notice a river, a waterfall, raindrops. Maybe she's in the form of ice, falling snowflakes onto your body. Welcome in the water element. Welcome in the healing from the water. Directing our awareness inwards, redirecting anything that doesn't serve us in this moment for this practice. Feel how the element of water resonates inside your body. Scan your body, become aware of sensations within you. Let the water element touch every cell in your body. As you connect more deeply, coming to reflect on your own curiosity, remembering ideas, perspectives, activities, information that has sparked interest within you. that has awakened curiosity. And come to write that down when it comes through. If you don't have pen and paper, just visualize what that is. If you don't know, when I say inspiration or curiosity, feel how that resonates in the body. You might get the insights through a dream, a memory, a book might just show up, a flower might appear, and you're like, oh, okay, there is a message here. Maybe it's a conversation that you have. Remember how that feeling is inside of your body. Because when you do get clues from the outside world, you can say, ah, I've had a message. I am curious. This is what inspiration feels like. And take a deeper look. It might be what you see, and it might be something a little bit deeper. So bring your awareness into that. Keep this with you. And now with the water element. If you're with your water, come to look into the bowl of water. If you don't have a bowl, you can continue to look at me, or you can visualize it. Just keeping that connection with the element of water. And I'm going to put some herbs in that I've been drawn to. I itch my ear. I'm not lying. I just really have an itchy ear. So these herbs, the flowers that I'm picking, I have moringa, which I've only ever had before in powder form. It's really good for boosting immunity, like immunity support, and for reducing inflammation. It's also super grounding as well. And what I've done with it, it's the first time I've had it as leaves, and I've also got the pods that you can cook and eat. They're little beans inside, and they're really delicious. We had them today. Araya was loving them. Yeah, so when I smell it, it smells really earthy. Like it smells almost like henna. I know I smell henna. And when I breathe it in, I feel really held. Like I feel very much in my body, and it's quite cozy for me to smell this. So I'm adding this for the grounding and support, the connection to the physical realm. And then another flower that's been coming to me a lot is butterfly pea, blue butterfly pea. I think one stuck to my nose. So this one has a smell like almost a spice, a sweet smell as well. And it is really blue. And when you put it in your water will turn blue. And I found it in my garden here, the plant, I found it. And I knew straight away because I've been studying this last year, this flower, because it came to me then, and it looks like a vulva. It's so beautiful. And the taste, there is a little kick when you taste it. You can really, I can anyway, maybe it's my taste buds, but it's quite distinctive once you've chewed it and left it in your mouth. And so this is really good for brain function, eye health, and also because of the blue and the link to the eye, it's a connection to our third eye, an opening to connect to the invisible realm. So this is my connection to the spiritual realm. And this is really the balance, the bridge between the spiritual realm and the something just fell in my garden. The spiritual realm and the physical realm, and remembering that we are both human and we are the soul. So if you connect to them, receive them as allies for this ritual. If not, you have your own herbs. Or maybe you're visualizing putting what herbs or flowers come to you through this practice. So giving thanks for them to support us in this practice. Now we're going to write down any doubts, thought patterns, any habits, any environments, any people that we want to be reminded that they are not nourishing. Again, things can change in the future, but what is coming through for you right now? Okay, so let's take some time to do that. If you don't have a pen and paper, then you can just let the images or the words, however it's being revealed to you, let it come up. So any thought patterns, any physical actions that you're doing, environments, people, what is depleting you? And then fold this up once you've written down, and you can pause this at any time if you need some more time with this. Okay, now we're going to place this piece of paper inside of the water, visualizing everything that you've wrote in here being cleansed, being dissolved in the water, so that what is really behind that can be seen. Maybe an insecurity, a fear. It'll come to you again in a dream, maybe through a book, a prayer, meditation. What is the root of the actions that you're doing? You don't need to know it right now. It might come through very quickly, but you have done the work. You've asked for that to come through. I got my fingers wet and I can't touch my screen anymore. Okay. So now we are going to take a moment to express and feel gratitude for this practice. I said to pause for a moment. I had little ones coming in. So let's take a moment to fully feel into the ritual that we've just done. A ritual, a moment in time to alter our state of consciousness, to see beyond the usual things, ideas, thoughts that we see. Notice how your body is in this moment. Notice if there's any tension, unnecessary tension. Maybe hands clenched, your body is in a awkward position. Bring a little bit of movement and softness. Bring the breath in. Let the palms open and face to the sky. Thanking the elements for supporting us. Thanking any herbs, plants that have been our allies through the practice. Thank you to your body, for your mind, for sharpening its focus. Thanking this moment for a chance to reflect, redirect our awareness to that which serves us. Let's take 5 breaths together to fully come into your body as you inhale, and to release any unnecessary tension, any chattering of the mind on the exhale. And you can just say release, letting go. And when you have some time yourself, you can journal some more and see what comes through around reflection, letting go, intentions for this week. But we'll end the ritual by blowing out the flame and letting the smoke carry our prayers and our intention. Thank you for sharing this ritual with me. I hope that this practice serves you. I'd like to invite you to our next circle, which is on the 29th of September. It is a dark moon circle, which will be live. It's donation based. There's 2 times to serve the USA side and to serve Europe, and also where I am now in Asia and Australia. So the 2 events will honor them. And we are taking a moment in time to see our relationship with our womb, our subconscious ideas and beliefs around our womb, and also how we show up in relationship with our womb in present day. So I'll be sharing rituals and practices for each phase. If you no longer bleed or your menstrual cycle is absent, then you can follow the moon with the practices. Also, I just want to say, so you have your water here, or I have my water. I'm about to go and give this to Pachamama. So this piece of paper, if you don't want anyone to read it, just bury it in the earth. She will eat it. And the other piece of paper with what makes you curious, keep that on your altar for this week. Let it be with you. Keep it safe. Keep it close by. Okay, thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope you have a beautiful day, a beautiful week, and I will see you next week for the dark moon. Bye.